Hello and welcome, George Rodrigues, Senior Business Manager in Latin America. It is an immense privilege to be with you today to continue our executive journey, focused on the transformation and scaling of your business. Throughout my career, serving as a director in renowned multinational companies, I witnessed firsthand how large corporations structure their operations to dominate entire markets. However, when I made the decision to found my own consultancy focused exclusively on small and medium enterprises, I encountered a completely different and much more challenging reality. I saw brilliant business owners with exceptional products living in a state of chronic anxiety on the first day of every month, asking themselves where the sales for those coming weeks would come from. I realized that the main pain point for these entrepreneurs was the total lack of commercial predictability. That is why the theme of our lecture today is the sales machine, and we are going to deeply explore how you can build a professional and scalable commercial structure that frees your company from chaos and the dependence on individual talents. To understand the urgency of this transformation, we must look at the roots of commerce and understand how large companies professionalize the sales area throughout history. Commerce is one of the oldest human activities, yet the professionalization of sales is surprisingly recent. For millennia dating back to medieval fairs, selling was considered a purely individual art, an innate gift. The good salesperson was the one who possessed charisma, persuasive power, and a vast network of contacts. This model of intuition works very well on a small scale, but when volume increases, the system inevitably collapses. The first great leap in professionalization occurred at the end of the 19th century with the Industrial Revolution. Mass production demanded mass sales. In 1884, the American company National Cash Register pioneered the creation of the first formal sales training program, instituting scripts, manuals, and performance quotas. In the following decades, the 20th century was marked by the codification of sales. In the 1950s, IBM revolutionized the market by structuring consultative selling, teaching that the salesperson's role was to deeply understand the customer's business before presenting a solution. In the 1970s, Xerox created the first corporate course on professional selling skills, proving once and for all that salespeople are not born ready, they are trained and systematically developed. In the 1980s, the Sandler method brought psychology into customer qualification. At the turn of the millennium, Salesforce introduced the concept of cloud-based customer relationship management, inaugurating the era of data and the sales funnel. And in 2011, executive Aaron Ross published the book Predictable Revenue, revolutionizing the market by proving that commercial growth does not depend on hiring more magical salespeople, but rather on process engineering that clearly separates those who prospect from those who close deals. Despite all this historical evolution, the present scenario in the vast majority of Latin American small and medium enterprises is one of dangerous delay. Today, many companies still operate as if they were in medieval fairs, depending on the superstar salesperson syndrome. This professional seems like the dream solution, closing big deals and boasting an enviable network of contacts. But in reality, they represent one of the greatest strategic risks to your company. When the superstar salesperson leaves, they take the customers, the relationships, and all the tacit knowledge with them, leaving a hole in revenue and a completely lost team. This model creates the illusion that relationship-based sales are a sustainable competitive advantage. Relationships are indeed fundamental, but when relationships act as a substitute for a structured process, your company is held hostage. Currently, there are 5 crucial warning signs indicating that your commercial operation is a ticking time bomb. The first sign is revenue concentration, where over 40% of revenue depends on 1 or 2 key salespeople. The second sign is the absence or underutilization of a customer management system, meaning that records and negotiation histories are in personal notebooks or spreadsheets, and the most valuable asset of the business does not belong to the company. The third sign is an improvised onboarding process, where new hires are thrown into the operation to learn the hard way, resulting in high turnover. The fourth sign is the total lack of predictability, where the manager cannot safely project next month's revenue. And the fifth sign is the lack of clarity regarding the ideal customer profile, causing the team to waste valuable time trying to sell to companies that should never be the target. This commercial chaos not only drains leadership energy, but literally costs millions in lost opportunities and inefficiency. But there is an incredibly promising vision of the future, which we call Sales 4.0. In the immediate future, revenue scaling will not be achieved through brute force, but through intelligence and data orchestration. The companies that will dominate their markets are building revenue ecosystems predictively guided by artificial intelligence and automated processes. In this vision of the future, artificial intelligence analyzes thousands of variables to identify the best potential customers, predict which deals have the highest probability of closing, and suggest the most effective next action for each opportunity, alerting the manager to any risk in the funnel long before the sale is lost. Automation will handle all repetitive administrative tasks, initial follow-ups, and data entry, freeing the sales representative to act strictly as a strategic consultant and complex problem solver. The historical barriers between marketing, sales, and customer service departments will be completely dissolved by centralized revenue operations, ensuring the customer has a unique, fluid, and highly personalized experience from the first click on the website to contract renewal years later. Human talent will not be replaced, but will be extraordinarily enhanced by a process that ensures average salespeople deliver consistent results and good salespeople achieve exceptional performance. For this sales machine to become the reality of your organization, a drastic change needs to happen in your mindset as a manager and in the gears of your operation. The first and most important change is the transition from depending on people to trusting in processes. You must abandon the role of your company's super salesperson and take the seat of the engineer of your commercial system. This begins with the rigorous definition of your ideal customer profile. You and your team must stop shooting in all directions and surgically analyze who are the 20% of customers that generate 80% of your profit, building clear qualification criteria and, more importantly, disqualification criteria to save your team's precious time. The second essential change is the scientific specialization of commercial work. You must stop demanding that a single professional do everything. Structure your team by separating those who do active prospecting and initial qualification from those who are account executives focused exclusively on negotiating and closing contracts, and those focused on long-term customer success and retention. This commercial assembly line minimizes focus loss and multiplies productivity. Beyond specialization, you must definitively and non-negotiably embrace technology, implementing a centralized relationship system and mandating its daily use as the company's single source of truth. Without the record in the system, the sale simply does not exist. Your management must be governed by the physics of the conversion funnel, actively monitoring sales velocity, multiplying the number of active opportunities by the average ticket and the conversion rate, and dividing that by the length of the sales cycle. To ensure all this machinery runs perfectly, your hiring and training model must change radically. You must build a documented sales playbook and a 60 to 90-day onboarding program for new salespeople, ensuring they absorb the company's history, master the system, listen to veteran calls, and practice real scenarios before communicating with valuable clients. The result of this transformation is not just a 20 to 30% increase in revenue. The true result is peace of mind and predictability. It is waking up on the first day of the month knowing clearly what your team is going to bill, where the risks are, and which levers to pull to correct the course. However, building this robust structure, implementing the right technologies, and changing the culture of an entire commercial team is a challenge that does not need to and should not be faced alone. KPA Gold Consultoria Empresarial has the methodology, the experience, and the validated tools to transform your current operation into a true professional, scalable, and profitable sales machine in extremely short time frames. The first and most decisive step you need to take to escape chaos and enter predictability is having absolute clarity about what is failing in your model today. Therefore, I invite you to take this strategic step immediately. Schedule an initial diagnostic session today completely free of charge and with no obligation to our senior team. In 2 hours of deep and analytical conversation, we will map out your commercial bottlenecks together and design the practical and personalized roadmap to structure your funnel, implement your systems, and accelerate your revenue consistently. Do not allow the growth of your wealth to remain hostage to luck or the talent of a single individual. Speak with our team now, book your diagnostic, and let us together build the sales engine your company deserves. Thank you very much for your time, for your focused attention, and I will see you in the next training.